So welcome back to Rufus Duck Adventures. Next tent in my Vango backpacking tent series is the Vango Banshee Pro 300 in the Trek series. I'm going to weigh it this morning. I think the website states it as 2.8 kilograms. This is just the tent with the pegs and the poles, nothing extra, and that's coming in at, what is that, 2743, 2744, 2745, something like that. Fantastic. So I'll get this tent up and we'll have a little look at it. So as you can see, this tent comes with the shepherd hook style aluminium pegs and aluminium poles, which are color coded. We'll see these in action in a minute, but just a little overview. This was my first serious backpacking tent that I bought to walk the Southwest Coast path with my son, and although it's marked as a 300, it's definitely more of a two-man tent than a three-man tent. It's very spacious as a two-man tent, but yeah, it served me extremely well. It's a quite a big recommend for a spacious two-man tent. Anyway, I'll set it up and we'll take a look. Magic. So here we go, the tent's set up. It's been a little while since I put this tent up, and I've forgotten how simple and easy it is to put up. One of the big advantages of tunnel tents in general, you just have two poles, put two pegs in, and then put the poles in whilst laying all flat on the ground, and then when you pull this one at this end, the whole thing just stands up and it's up. A couple more pegs and you're done. I mean, I haven't fully pegged out the guy lines and the side pieces. It's just held on six, because I have got one guy line in, but it's 3 here at this end and 2 at this end here, and obviously there'd be additional ones here and here and over the other side. Yeah, it's so simple, so quick, and people kind of go, well, why does it need to be so simple? What's the advantage? There's a big advantage, and it's time. And when it's raining or it's cold and you're desperate to get that shelter up, a tunnel tent is just so much easier. You know, you can keep it flat on the ground, totally pegged to the ground, and then one little pull and up it goes, and you can get in it straight away virtually. A couple of extra guy ropes and you're good. That's a big advantage when it's cold and it's windy, and maybe if you're tired, your hands are cold. It's a cracking looking shape. I love it. So we've got 2 doors on it. This is the door that leads straight into the tent, so that would be like the back door, if you will. And then the main door, very bright today, is here with a vestibule, quite a large vestibule. And obviously, as you can see, we've got a foot end vent. The guy ropes come off the sides instead of off the ends, like different versions. And then we have a couple of high level vents here with a little mesh inside. It doesn't have a standoff in there, but 2 of them, one at each side. And this variation, which is how they all are now, comes with 3 points. The earlier generations of the Banshee 200 and 300 had a straight back, and they've created this little point here. Just helps with a bit more when the wind's hitting this end. As you can see, the mid-level guy rope, instead of guy ropes coming off the top, they're now coming from here, which is a good idea, because that's where that big sheet of fabric would normally catch the wind. So we'll open it up and we'll have a little look inside. So here we go. I've got the door tied back. This is tied back on a toggle with a little bungee strap, so that makes that easy. And as you can see, it's nice and tight. It's never gone anywhere. That vestibule area is 400, maybe a little bit more mil wide. Not super long at this section, not very long, but I can put my big 60-litre rucksack in there with a bit of camping, a bit of cooking stuff down here, and then usually my boots in this area here. Leading through, we've got a double zipped door, and that just opens all the way out nicely into its dump pocket, of which, stepping inside, there are a few along this edge here, which is quite nice. Got one there, another one here, and then a couple more pockets on the rear. So I'm sitting up now in my tent, and I'm not in the middle of it. This is the apex, as it were. I'm sitting up dead opposite the door, and I can still sit up. So there's quite a lot of headroom in here, and I'm 5'10", and I'm sitting my back straight, and my head is a couple of maybe 2 or 3 centimeters from the apex of the tent. Got all the little features, a little pocket here, which is nice. You put your head torch in there, shine down, light the area. As you can see, we've got the TBS system, like most Vangos. Sits in its little pocket, which is nice. Comes through here, ties on up at the top. We've got a high level vent on the inner, which just helps the tent breathe, through to that little pocket vent there, which isn't massive. I mean, if you were really worried about condensation, I would probably zip down from the inside and open that section up. Right, moving through into the tent. So this is sold as a 300 3-man. I have actually slept myself and two of my little kids when they were very small in here, and it was tight and they were only young. So it's certainly not a 3-man tent, but it is a nice and capable 2-man. As you can see, the door on the other side, this one leads straight to the fly sheet. So there's not a lot of space here, maybe for a couple of boots, maybe if you want to just put your boots there. But when I've used this 2-up, my equipment, big rucksack, is here in the vestibule, and my son's bag tends to stay over the other side. He sleeps next to me, so his kit's here and down at the foot end. The foot end, if I put my feet down there, is huge, is high. So you've got your feet on a mat, your feet are not really anywhere near it. There's loads of space for your foot, and you can see through there, the vent at the top. Having used this on multiple days, I've not struggled with a lot of condensation in here. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's the polyester or the volume or the ventilation, but condensation's never been a problem in this tent, and I like it because of that. It's probably quite spacious, and this material's quite breathable. So you got another pocket there. So at the head end, there's this interesting little feature, which it's all right, but I haven't used it massively. It opens, as you can see, there's a whole series of different zips in it. I'm trying to remember which one does what. So that opens out into a mesh, and then if you open it again, you can zip the whole thing out. And then there's a little area out here. Pop it out there. There's quite a little area out there that you could probably put cooking equipment. I suppose if you were staying for 2 or 3 nights on a campsite, which is certainly big enough, this tent, as a campsite tent, you could store some stuff out there. And so yeah, it's quite a useful feature. Not least, you can actually reach in from the outside of the tent and grab what you want. I think I've put frying pans and things like that out in there in the past, keeping them away from foxes and stuff over the night. But yeah, as you can see, 2 more pockets here. It's a spacious tent. It really is. It's nice and light coloured. I've had no waterproofing issues. I've had it in a couple of big downpours, and this material, it just feels so. You can see the mesh on it. It's so it feels so thick and robust. Really does take a battering. Right then, we'll have a look on the outside again. As you can see, this is the second door, and it doesn't give it gets you straight into the tent. Not a lot of vestibule space. There's plenty of space between the tent side and the wall. Another little pocket for the TBS system. And again, this one's top zipped. The vent there. Yeah, lovely. And just before we do, the width across here is 165 centimeters, which basically 1.2 to about here, and then that extra little bit into the corner, useful for storing stuff for the second person. Plenty wide enough at the bottom. I think it's about 1.2 meters wide at the bottom, 1.2 meters wide at the top. Head space here it droops a little bit there, but this I think it's 2.2 meters long with a good foot end. It's quite steep at the foot end, so you can shift it down this way a little bit. Means that it's not too much of an issue at the head end here. Certainly not for someone of my size. So yeah, so the interior works really, really well. Yeah, I could see this being big enough to spend a weekend in on a campsite if you wanted to. Looking at some of the hardware, standard Vango guy lines, quite thick and chunky with a line lock, not a mini line lock, not a massive line lock, but mid-sized one. Aluminium Yunnan poles, good hardware clips. You pull this down, tighten it up, strap at the bottom. Yeah, it's robust. It works. It's reliable. Looks like I swapped out one of my pegs for one of the Y style ones at some point in the past. Big foot vent there. Yeah, it's a cracking tent. I'd heartily recommend it. If you wanted a bit more space, didn't mind carrying the weight, maybe a single overnighter. I've done multi-day trips with it, carrying everything, and yeah, it's worked really, really well for me. So that'll do it for this review. Just a little short review on the Vango Banshee 300 Pro. There are later versions than this, but they all follow the same sort of shape. The details haven't changed much, the sizes haven't changed much. So irrespective of which model you get for, it's basically that tent. And yeah, it's heartily recommended by myself. Like I said, my first proper backpacking tent that I used. Walked a lot of the Southwest Coast path in this, and it's still be in good stead. I've looked for lighter tents since, but it's nice to get the old beast back out again. Anyway, that'll do for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.